I'm Kyle Meredith, and sitting across from me, the great, legendary, all of the big names and words, Graham Nash.
Yeah, those are the important two, Graham and Nash. The rest is not important.
Not important on it. A celebrated career is definitely worth celebrating, though. I mean, you guys, you've had such a great career on and on, and I will thank you for that right up front.
I've been a lucky man.
Yeah, because it's so great. But what we're talking about today is this new record. You're back with a new one called This Path Tonight.
Yes.
And I know the question's coming up a lot, and so I will say, I know that you've done a lot in 14 years since the last record, but 14 years does pass, and does it ever surprise you when those times go and you're like, well, has it been that long since I've done this? Because I know it gets confusing. You're in different bands and you guest on people's records, but suddenly it's like, oh, the solo record, it's been that long since then.
What happens is that it's driven by the music. Mm-hmm. And when the music comes, as it did with Shane and I writing 20 songs together in a month and recording those 20 songs in 8 days, the passion that I have for music and being able to express myself is still incredibly powerful in my life. Yeah. And my personal life is going through enormous changes. Even at 74 years old, I still feel like I've got, another 74 years left. I mean, truth is, Kyle, I could drop dead in the middle of this conversation.
I like to believe you have 74 years left. You're halfway there. Congratulations.
I'm only half old, yes.
There's a song on the record with Fire Down Below, and I don't know if it speaks to that specifically, but I was kind of reading into it like that. Like, you do hear a lot of those folks, after you've been doing anything for a long time, but especially when we're talking about art, it becomes the challenge of how do I find it? They call rock and roll a young man's game, but we've seen time and time again that's not true.
It's not true.
Yeah, there are these great pieces. How do you does it still come just as natural for you as it always does, or do you have to wait a little bit longer for the inspiration for something different?
No, I don't have to wait. I'm alive every day.
Yeah,
stuff is happening every day that affects me, and I have to express myself, Mm-hmm. Thank God we live in America, But no, I don't, start writing at 3 p.m. with my coffee or one of those.
Right.
Hey, I see something and a line comes into my head. The process usually is I have to have something to feel deeply about before I can express myself. Mm-hmm. And it usually, I have this ability to boil everything I'm looking at down to the essence of what is the one line that could sum up exactly what I'm talking about. Once I've got that line, I just fill in the rest of the stuff with the little pieces of the puzzle.
It's like Twitter for songwriting.
You said that, Kyle, I didn't.
Has the songwriting changed over the years, the way you've done it? I mean, again, you're talking about this like this is the way you've always done it, but, I would assume that things do change and you get bored with maybe trying it one way.
Well,
Have you noticed the
truth
styles?
is we've made records and written songs any way that you want, from a kick drum to a full orchestra, and anywhere in between. Yeah. No, I write and I have the ability to express myself in a form where if I can please me with a piece of my music, it's pretty good that I could please you too.
Right.
Because, we're very similar people. We're human beings and going through all our changes like everybody else, I just do something a little special with my life.
Yeah. Well, the album, by the way, is great. Start to finish. Even the bonus tracks, the tracks that didn't make it are great. And I think the bonus tracks actually lead into this next one because the album starts with the title track and the first lines we hear are, "Where are we going?"
Exactly.
Which you're a man who has spent a lot of his career fighting for things through your music, through your activism, through your philanthropy, and trying to better the world. And I see that line right there, and I think, is it frustrating at all for someone who's been fighting to make the world a better place for as long as you had, and I'm looking at the debates with...
It's incredible,
Yeah.
This Republican clown car that's going on is insane.
Yeah.
They're insane. I loved Bernie Sanders' last line at the last debate, where he said, "On our worst day, we are better than any Republican candidate." And I thought that was pretty good. I know I have a lot of friends who are Republicans, and I meet a lot of people. There was somebody on my bus the other night who were complete Trump fans. I didn't understand it at all, but I have incredible patience, I think.
Yeah. Do you ever get surprised when you have those fans, when those fans are fans of you? Like, do they know what the songs I've written?
Well, it happened when CSNY did the Living with War tour. You know, people started to walk out about 3 hours into the show when we sang this song called, Let's Impeach the President for Lying.
Right.
And I'm going, wait, those people all bought tickets to our show. Do they not know who they bought a ticket to see? Come on.
Right. Did you ever, I mean, I always have this, I want to think that a song can change the world. And I've brought this up in a few interviews before, to varying answers and everything. But again, when you're writing those songs a long time ago and you look back at that, I mean, did you think like it could have worked? But for whatever reason, here we are. Like the song didn't take like that, or did it?
Yes, it does, but in different degrees.
Yeah.
It's like to a large degree. This is an incredibly difficult life to live.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a lucky man in that I can afford to eat. I can afford to put a roof over my head, and there are millions of people in this country that don't. And I walk down the streets in New York City and I see people sleeping on the floor, and I wonder why. Mm-hmm. Why in this country do we have such things happening? Why in this country have we put more people in jail than any other country on the planet? Why are we not teaching our kids a better way to deal with life? Why are we not feeding them? Why are we not educating them well? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff wrong with this country. But this is an incredible country, and we have the potential to be incredible.
Yeah, I hope you're right about that.
I am right.
It's just when it gets so easy. I think when you look around and you just let it get to you, you're like, again.
That's part of the patience I was talking about earlier. You can let it get to you, but when you let it get to you to a certain point, you become paralyzed. Yeah. I don't want to be paralyzed.
There's a couple tracks, those bonus tracks I wanted to ask about. Mississippi Burning and Watch Out for the Wind.
Yes.
Both politically motivated songs, would you
Absolutely.
say? Absolutely.
Yeah. Shane and I one morning heard that Michael Brown had been shot in Ferguson in Missouri. Saw what happened with his body, saw what happened, it was a tragedy. And we wrote Watch Out for the Wind that morning. And we performed it that night on the stage.
Wow.
And David and Stephen had never heard it.
And the great songs. It's a shame they didn't make the record. I'm guessing it was about the mood.
It is.
Yeah.
I planned the journey of this path tonight emotionally. And when I did write with Shane, Watch Out for the Wind, and Mississippi Burning, which is about the 3 college kids that were murdered when they tried to get black people to be able to vote, in Mississippi in the 60s. But they didn't emotionally... I didn't invite them to the party.
Right.
So I made them bonus tracks.
Well, they're great tracks that really do stand up on their own. It's really good. You're talking about it being a personal record, and we don't have to go into the personal life sort of the aspect, but with the song Another Broken Heart, at 74, I think you probably have a lot of experience with broken hearts.
I have.
Yeah. Does it get easier?
No.
Like, I'm asking this not even as a musician type of thing.
No, it doesn't get easier. Yeah. Absolutely not. But life is a challenge, and I'm ready.
Yeah. And you didn't mind putting it all out there on the album?
No, I'm a musician.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That's what I do, Yeah. Other people are plumbers, but I'm a musician.
That's what you do. The artwork is beautiful. I was looking at it, and then again...
That's my new girlfriend, Amy Grantham.
She took the photo.
She's sitting right there.
Yeah, she is. It's a great photo. And I think, and this is going to sound weird and possibly horrible, but when I pair that up with certain lyrics on it, because again, my mind is slowly fading and the night comes on so fast.
Wait, that's a great line. That's not the line I wrote, but...
Oh, is that not?
No, the light is slowly fading, not my mind. That's fantastic, though. My mind is slowly fading.
Well, it doesn't change it with the light, though. And then I'm looking, I was like, well, there he is. His back's to the camera, and he's walking down to the woods. It's like, come on, dude. You got 74 more years. You can't be looking at this already.
Well, it's just where I am right now, Kyle.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I might feel completely different, but today, this is where I am.
Is the future just my past?
Right.
Hopefully I got that line right
Yes,
there.
you did. Yeah.
That's got to be frustrating to be held to a part of your life that was just a few years and everything. And I'm sure you get that a lot, It's like you've done so much since the 60s and so much since the 70s, but it always comes back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah. And, I have an interesting process in my mind. I understand who he is, who Graham Nash is. I understand what I've done. I understand all that. But in a way, I'm still waiting to get found out. I don't know why I'm here sitting talking to you right now after, 50 years of all that madness. I still am this kid that's still trying to be a part of the party and stuff. And I've always felt outside of everything. And I'd like to be inside for a while.
You're invited in anytime you want.
Thank you, Kyle.
I would be curious, though, with that type of lyrics and everything from another album that just came out this year, of course, was David Bowie's Black Star, which is very much, what did you think about the way that was released and the setup of that, having
I
so much
thought personally that it was pure Bowie.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, the man was a genius, I think. I mean, a musical genius and incredibly brave. I mean, he was doing stuff in the 70s when we were still at hippies, that was insane, with multicolored suits and makeup and hair and all over and Ziggy and
right.
Crazy. What an incredible talent. But, man, we have to actually realize that we only have a certain amount of time left.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do with it?
I guess that's a good way of thinking about it. It's not the way I want to think about it, though.
I know, but how old are you?
I'm 34.
Yeah. See, you're a baby, right? To me.
To you, sure,
right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there will be a time, and it's probably a day after tomorrow, when you'll be 70. And you'll be looking back the same way I am.
Yeah.
This is coming to an end, and we know it. This is the life process. You're born, you die. I'm hoping to extend it as much as I can, and I'm hoping to write as much as I can and create as much as I can while I'm here. I'm trying to take care of every second.
Modern medicine says we could live a lot longer now, so...
Yeah.
They're working on the DNA strands and everything else.
The truth is, how about Stephen Hawking's statement the other day when somebody asked him how long he thought that the human race might last, and he, in that funny voice that he has with the machine, said maybe 1,000 years.
Wow.
And that's a blink of an eye, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's going back to, us killing ourselves with everything that's going on. And
we're doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you think that changes with who we put in office? Because,
yes.
Again and again we've tried, but, I guess the progress is small.
The truth is, being the president of the United States has got to be an insanity.
Yeah.
Who would want such a job? Seriously. Yeah. I mean, it must be insane. You tell everybody, all 300 million of us, that we're king, and you're an individual and have rights, and then we try and crush them all. It's insane, this.
But somebody's going to get it. You just hope it's the better person.
Yes.
So, Graham, it has been a pleasure talking to you. And I love this path tonight. Congratulations on this record. And the next record, and the next record, and the next record.
From your mouth to God's ear, Kyle.
All right. Thank you so much for dropping by.
Thank you.
Pleasure.